Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Newman, and today we'll be unboxing Skell-Ra from Mattel's Masters of the Universe ThunderCats line. This 1/12 scale figure measures roughly 7 inches in height, is made of plastic, sports up to 16 points of articulation, and comes with reversible wings, a mummra head, mummra clothing, and the Sword of Plundar. Now before we get to the unboxing, it would greatly be appreciated if you were to like this video, if you do indeed like it, and subscribe. That way you'll never miss a future unboxing. So I happened to purchase these figures from BigBadToyStore.com. They're great online retailers, so you should give them your business. I actually bought 2 of these bad boys. For what reasons, I cannot remember, but now I got 2, so I don't know, maybe I'll do a giveaway. Probably not, I'll wind up forgetting. So the packaging is a deluxe version of the classic card bag that the ThunderCats Masters of the Universe collab is going for right now with the exploding rocks and all that good stuff. It's larger than the Hurricane Hordak boxing, but not as big as the Origins Modulock box. Turning to the side of the package, we have a nice profile shot of Skell-Ra. The artwork is really good. Turning to the other side, we have a profile shot of mummra. Artwork is still looking pretty good. And lastly, the back of the package, which has a nice illustration of Skeletor transforming into Skell-Ra. It's a little curious. This looks like an emaciated version of Skeletor, whereas the mini comic that came with the Lion-O and Chitara figures showed a fully muscular Skeletor. So I don't know, maybe they changed the story while developing this crossover, whatever. I wouldn't think about it too much. And lastly, it shows the other figures that are in this wave and how to transform Skell-Ra into mummra. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. Alright, and here we have the figure in hand, and this is looking pretty good. Paint application is looking pretty fantastic, actually, especially the gold portions on his loincloth. Looks nice. I don't see a wash on his purple armor, but, you know, it's an Origins figure, or Origins adjacent anyway. So anyway, let's go to the articulation first before we get too much into aesthetics. So the head is all in a ball joint. Yeah, I can only move it from side to side. I can't really do it all the way around with this cowl on. Arms go to about yay high. There is a twist in the upper deltoid. We've got single joints in the elbows. Wrist goes all the way around. There is a hinge on there. This other wrist goes all the way around as well. And a hinge. The waist goes all the way around. Legs go up to about yay high. Single joints in the knees. There is a twist at the shin. There's a boot cut there. And the ankles are articulated more like a Masterverse than a Cartoon Collection or Origins figure. And there's a sculpt on the bottom of the feet, which I don't really care for because it kind of hurts the posing a little bit. He's not as steady as I would like. Anyway, let's go with the accessories next. So first up, we have the mummra head. Looks good, paint application is good. I don't know if I like the fact that his mouth is also blue. I kind of wish that was either black or red for a tongue. It seems just unfinished. Sculpt is really nice. Look, all of his tassels in the back. The gold applications on the helmet are very good, no slop. Here is part of his bandage armor. They're the holes for the wings. The plastic is opaque, but it's semi-translucent, which I actually kind of like. It's not just a straight-up white bandage. This gives it sort of an ectoplasmic or a ghosty aesthetic to it. And here is his miniskirt. Paint application is good. Looks like it's a yellow plastic that's painted red and blue. And here is the Sword of Plundar. Looks very nice. Looks really good. I think this might be 2 separate plastics. Or, you know, I think it might be all a gold pearl plastic with silver paint application. I think that's it. All right, so let's get these wings out. And we've got 2 separate colors for the inside, one for the outside. So you can swap them out depending on whether you've got the mummra look or the Skell-Ra look. It's the same basic principle as the Bolt Tack that I reviewed a few months ago. All right, so in lieu of a mini comic, we have these 2, I guess, placards, oversized trading cards. Either way, they've got a bio for both Skeletor and mummra on them. And on the back, if you just flip these bad boys around, they actually form Skell-Ra. So that's pretty cool. And for I think this artwork is fantastic. Moving on next, we actually have instructions on how to swap out all of the pieces to convert mummra into Skell-Ra. Now, although it doesn't show the modular pieces that can be swapped out with other Origin or Cartoon Collection figures, you can in fact swap out the pieces with your other Cartoon Collection and Origin figures. I know the dimensions are a little atypical to the previous stated lines, but it is possible. Results may vary. Okay, so let's do a deeper dive on the figure itself. So again, overall, I think this paint application is really good. Specifically those 3 gold skulls on his loincloth. I'm of 2 minds of his head. On the one side, I think there could have been a wash on it. On the other side, I appreciate the flat yellow paint because I think this might actually look really good under a black light. Also, these retro card backs don't really do washes anyway, so it's a moot point. Paint application on his emblem as well as the straps is also very good, as is the sculpt itself really. Turning to the back, you can see the 2 peg holes for his wings. There's no holster for a sword of any nature. The latching mechanism is similar to Lion-O's, but a little different. I don't think they're the most secure. And underneath his loincloth, you can see his tidy readies. Moving on to the lower extremities, we can see a very nice sculpt on these shin guards. I like the color choices for it. We can see the hair on his feet. It's a very nice sculpt. And at first, I thought it was just a very good paint job, but it's actually a completely separate piece of plastic. Also, these feet are really giving me Masterverse, but not in a good way. I typically don't like the feet on the Masterverse figures, especially the monster feet. Although I appreciate the sculpt on the feet, it really interferes with getting him well balanced. So next up, we're going to go ahead and get these wings on him. So the red side is for Mummra, the purple side is for Skell-Ra, but you know, it's not like you're beholden to this. You can switch things up if you want. I won't because of this review, so I'm going to keep things pretty standard. So let's get these bad boys on. And again, they work pretty much like the... you see, yeah, again, I'm not a big fan of these types of back pieces because they're not as secure as I would like. But back to what I was saying. So they work pretty much like the Voltec wings from the cartoon collection. A standard peg and hole, no ball joint or hinge. But these feel a little bit more secure. Voltec's wings tend to fall out quite a bit once you start posing them, but these feel a little bit more secure, so I'm happy with that. So now let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room with a couple of comparisons. This figure is a little bit of a Frankenstein. It's part Origins cartoon collection, part Masterverse. It's got the Masterverse size, but it's got the articulation of a cartoon collection or an Origins figure. And the proportions seem like a mix too. He has the longer arms of an Origins figure as compared to his legs, but they're not as exaggerated as an Origins figure. It's this weird in between, as you can see better with a 3 Skeletor comparison for all 3 different lines. Also, another thing of note, once you strip down these characters, generally they'll always have a belt above their undies, but not the Skell-Ra, he just has the briefs.
Oh yeah.
So lastly, before we sign out, let's go ahead and get Skell-Ra transformed into mummra. I thought about doing a nice little montage of me transforming it, but it's really pretty basic. You just have to take off the armor. You do have to disconnect the torso from the waist and take off the head, obviously, because you're swapping out the heads. But there's not a lot of swapping in and out of parts like the Lion-O and the Chitara figures. Those figures were a little difficult and they needed to be heated up prior. This is fairly easy, so I'm not really going to go over it. Also, because this is a larger character, the swap out is a lot easier because it's a bigger figure, so you've got more gripping, you've got more leverage. Stuff like the Chitara figure, they're a nightmare to swap out because they're so tiny. Now, overall, I do like this version of Mummra. Again, I still have issue with the inside of his mouth, and the wings are actually a little loose. You can see with the Skell-Ra armor, it's a lot more secure. This is a little bit wobbly, but it's not awful. Gravity's kind of doing the work for me, so I don't feel like they're going to fall off. I feel like gravity is kind of keeping them in place. The emblem on his chest is very well painted. The mummy wraps look very good, but unfortunately, because of the nature of his head, articulation in the head isn't very good. The balance for this figure is fairly decent, but I'm going to be honest, the more that I work with the legs, the looser that they got. So there might be a little bit of an engineering challenge in regards to these larger size Origin figures. Or it just might be mine. And also, I know it's not a part of the mandate for this line of figures, but I really wish there was an ab crunch in this figure. It really could have benefited. I keep wanting to pose this figure in certain positions, and I just can't quite do it because of the lack of an ab crunch. Again, I know that's not what they're going for, but I still would have liked it. So overall, what do I think of this figure? You know what? I really do like it. I think this is a pretty good likeness of Mummra, and I think it is affordable. It's pricing $34.99 at BigBadToyStore.com, and it's ranging about $30 at the larger retailers. I don't support the larger retailers, so I'm not going to even bother mentioning them, but they're out there if you do want to support them. I don't think this figure is perfect. I do think it has a few issues, specifically the articulation and the legs. The more that I work with it, the looser they get. And bad leg articulation is one of the worst things because your figures just wind up falling all over the place. It's not awful, but it ain't good. But overall, I think this is a fun toy. It provides a lot of entertainment, swapping out the different parts. I had a lot of fun messing around with it. And I think in the end, that matters the most. So alright folks, that's gonna wrap everything up. I'm Rip It Open with Newman on several socials, all are in my profile. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, hit the bell for notifications, and I will check you later.